I ask myself, why do they hate us so much? I ask myself, why do we hate ourselves so much? And then it dawned on me. It said, Meech, would you not hate the people who had a chance to make everything right again and chose not to, for whatever reason? Though they were told the things that they were told, they steadfastly committed against the things that they were told to commit to? Would you not hate them? But if a part of your hate was to be tempered with mercy, so as to remind them of who they are, to guide them back to what it is that they were supposed to do, that they may bring unison once again into the realm that we live, cohesion, peace, continuity, and longevity, then these people would have to be once again placed in a position where in which they could do as such. But to oppress them, yea, to keep them under, to be specific, under all rule, measures, counsel, canons, specifications, anything that will hold them from being in the fullest potential of self, that they may never achieve what it is to be in the flesh, one who is in contact with the highest form of existence, that we simple laymen call the Most High. One speaks on these things fruitively because they hope that you would hope that the Most High would come get you. One speaks on these things fruitively because they would hope that you would hope that those who act against you, you could somehow temper their mind to be different. You see, there is a reason why there are prophecies written within the book, and if you read all of the prophecies, all of them are not co-aligned perfectly. It is because if certain actions are to take place, these are the actions that are to take place. So the fruitive action of thought of all different possibilities that could take place have already been accumulated together. This is why people cannot decipher the prophecies now, because they would have to understand what part of which prophecies have been fulfilled, have not been fulfilled, have yet to be fulfilled, won't be fulfilled, cannot be fulfilled, shall not be fulfilled, because they have been made, rendered, or otherwise are impossible at this point, highly improbable, highly unlikely. The numbers are so astronomically low that it has so many zeros before there is a number that to mention a chance is like mentioning a fly bench pressing 1,000 pounds. The chances are so far beyond what are thought that to even conceive it would give one the credence of being crazy and without mind, or beyond that, wicked and evil. So, when a person has been told already what it is that they are up against, and these things have yet to be fulfilled, or have been fulfilled, or have been fulfilled to a certain measure, cut off here, carried on there, and then added on to another level of this place and this time, this is why no one understands what they are seeing, what they are going through. I'm trying to break it down right now. See, the mind has levels of thought. The levels of thought are achieved by thinking what is the next point in reference of thought. I will give you an example. One says, I want to make a sandwich. Well, they say, well, how do I make a sandwich? They say, well, I make a sandwich if I take one piece of bread and another piece of bread. Well, but how do I get the bread? I have to have purchased the bread. But, well, let's say I cannot purchase bread because there is no place to purchase the bread. So how there do I then gain bread? Do I See, you understand now? It goes into building fires. And do I know how to build a fire? How do I properly build fires? How do I properly gain the materials to build a fire? How do I properly gain the material to gather the wheat? Do I know to smash it all down together? Do I just cook it all first? There are so many different processes to the thought process that one has to achieve to have a next level thought, that if they can't conceive what I just said on the most basic terms, they will never ever in this life ever think of something outside of themselves, let alone on another plane. This is why when I speak to you, I attempt to give to you what it is that I have accomplished, because I don't think within myself so much as it is trying to accomplish something that is outside of self. An inward accomplishment is always going to be achievable because you control all mechanisms normally to do as such. But an outward accomplishment is one that takes not only self, but it takes others, and it takes the imbuing of minds. It takes the meeting of minds. It takes the gathering of minds to see where it is they agree, where they disagree, and where there is room for growth. Because things you disagree on, there is no room for growth. Things you agree on, there's no room for growth. You already agree. All the other areas that are within these other two areas build upon them. So where in which, once again, we're looking for cohesion and unison. So the things that you disagree upon will eventually be things that you can cooperate upon. But this comes within a thought process. And things that you already agree upon will be things that you have bridged together and brought the things that you didn't agree upon together with cooperation. So one has to have the mind to understand this. Why I say this is because you listen to people who prophesy and say many things, but they don't say many things that actually tandemly make sense in logical order. Nor do they speak to you as if they actually know what they're talking about. I'm talking my own words right now, not words that are written on a page or that I had to study to read or that I had to memorize. These is just words. The only reason why I'm not on camera is because I was spur of the moment thinking of these things, decided to speak on it. I promise you, if there's one thing that you know about me, is that I will do whatever it is that I feel is necessary at that moment. So at that moment that I decided at 6:32 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, that I said to myself that I should say these things to my people so that way they would understand where my mind is at right now. I need you to get two things before I do this next Middle Earth piece. Number one, you need to accept that everyone you're looking at is not as human as you think they are, nor do they think they're as human as they think they are. They know they're not. There are physiological, psychological, biological, you understand? Okay? Differences within the species of the so-called human races, because they are all not humans. They are just under the guise of being one. However, we are not going to go there right now. We are just going to stay in tandem of thought and flow freely here. And I'm going to give you the next 30 seconds and then I'm done. This is a way of thinking going forward. Don't do anything, nothing, that will not bring upon a result that is favorable for you. One must think of self and then think of the others. While you were thinking of self, you were already thinking of others, so it doesn't matter. But one must think of self, because if you have not covered what will the others do if something happens to self, then you have failed them.